What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you, as usual, for joining. Jason Whitlock is one of the greatest writers I have ever read. If you're not reading Jason Whitlock, you are not getting the full picture. I highly recommend them. Here's what he did. His article, Fearless, Olympian Gwen Berry, the latest athlete to promote herself with George Floyd ICE Anthem Challenge. Well worded. He has the gift of gab, and it's very powerful. The George Floyd ICE Anthem Challenge. What is that? So it's just a fad. It's a social media thing. It's not really about the cause. His article here, as usual, is based. It is on point. Her actions, and I said it in the video I did as well, her actions are of someone who wants attention and not someone who is a true activist. But here's where I'm going to challenge Jason Whitlock and challenge myself. When I go back, and I, like many other people, I didn't know who the hell she was. I do remember when she raised her fist, but I totally forgot about her. I went back and looked at interviews with her. And I want to challenge you, Mr. Whitlock. I'm going to challenge myself and everyone else out there. Let's assume the best of intentions. Still write this article because that's what it is. But we don't know that for a fact. I challenge you, let's write an article or give advice to Gwen Berry with the assumption that she had nothing but good intention in her heart. How would that article sound? When I hear Gwen Berry, when I hear her speak, I see power within her.
In that moment when the national anthem was playing, I knew that the national anthem did not speak for people like me in America. The freedom, liberty, and justice for all, it is not for Black people. Something came over me. I raised my fist. I felt like I was not at peace with myself if I had not said something or did something in that moment.
And I'm not talking about her performance on the field. She's a powerful young lady. One of her legs is bigger than both of mine put together. But I'm talking about power in approach, in presence, in intensity that really could be used for things that Whitlock and I and many of you watching might agree are good. And I see that. I know this sounds like a Star Wars movie, but there's a reason why Star Wars is such a powerful movie. This is her energy, her power, her ability to resonate with people, which I think she has, is being diverted and used for, in my opinion, for something that is not authentic. So what would you tell to her? Let's look at a different approach. He's not an activist, but let's look at this approach from Usain Bolt.
Amazing, incredible, awesome. We should invent new words to talk about you. Help us.
Well, I would say a new word. Lightning bolt is good enough for me. It was all about business today. I came out to defend my title, and that's what I did.
You came here to be a legend. You are already a legend.
Could we cut the interview? Is it live?
Yeah, okay. So, just let's dance.
National anthem.
Oh, sorry. El himno nacional.
With that moment, Usain Bolt garners instant respect. When you come from the standpoint of an activist, it's not as much about who are you known. It's more about, do we respect you? And Gwen, you skipped that step. We didn't know who you are. You got us to know you, but we don't respect you. You showed your ass. And instead of that, if we're working on the premise that she has good in her heart, how do you earn respect from the country so that when you draw attention to something, we want to listen? If Usain Bolt wanted to draw attention, that's a good place to start. And if you wanted to draw respect, that's a great place to start. That looked like an authentic moment. And then from that, you don't need to do any type of demonstration or anything like that. You can do interviews, you can tweet, you can do your own promotional campaign, do YouTube videos. talking about the cause to get awareness, no protest. And you do that for a little bit of while. And maybe it doesn't go, maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't. And then you get to the point where I want to draw attention to it. Then you might be able to do that. If you do it in a respectful way, we already have respect for where you've been coming from. And after you draw attention to it, you are able to articulate it because you've been out there in the open. What do the true activists, the successful activists in our country, what have they done? What do they all have in common? They have respect. Whether you agreed with them or not, I guarantee you respect Malcolm X. I guarantee you that. Stokely Carmichael, not agree, but respect. Fred Hampton. Angela Davis, Maya Angelou. There's a lot of people. Muhammad Ali. The one thing that people might have disagreed with their stance at one point in time, but one thing that they all had was respect of people. When they talked, people listened because they had respect, because they did the time. You have a cause? Show me you know about that cause. Talk about it. These people were accessible in a time where it was extremely dangerous to be accessible, doing interviews, being out on the streets, putting their life on the line. It's how some of them got killed. Like Martin Luther King Jr. got stabbed because he was so accessible. Somebody could get up to him and ask him. They didn't even know for sure, are you Martin Luther King? And then stabbed him. These are some of the brightest people ever in our country. And you don't have to be that. All you have to do is do the due diligence and come with a positive intent. And that message can resonate. And the way that you protest, it matters. Don't do a knee during the anthem. That's not going to work. You lose any respect you had before that. There's many ways to draw attention to a cause in a respectful way, or in a way that doesn't disrespect the country. Or if you do the knee, you can clearly come out and say, this is not out of disrespect. Here's why I love the country. It's not good enough to just say, like Colin Kaepernick said, I took a knee and it was about the country. I don't believe him. Colin Kaepernick, who a lot of people didn't know who he was. He was a good quarterback, went to a Super Bowl, but he was falling out of favor in his locker room with his teammates. He didn't have respect of the country like that, walking around in pig socks later and talking about Fidel Castro, and you didn't know anything about him. You're not ready. You haven't done the work. Let me know what you think. I challenge Whitlock. I mean, time is money. He's not going to do that, and I respect that. But write an article from the standpoint of, let's guide her. And you know what? This is going to be my takeaway. If we as a village, meaning the community, people, myself, Whitlock, like we need minds like Whitlock to be able to reach them. Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown's become the black leader now. It's crazy, but that's where we are. Can we guide her to come to her own conclusion? And I think if we guide her to think through these issues, I think, we earn her respect. I think we would be very, very shocked where she aims that power that she has. Once you think through it, because I've been there. I know, Whitlock, you've been there, and others. Tell me about your journey that you've come through as anyone watching this, as a young person to an adult, how your mind has formed and your ideas have changed. And if we guide her, I guarantee you would be very surprised where her conclusions lie and how her conclusions change at the end of this. The biggest challenge is, how do we reach her? Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.